way, but you're never gonna be me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another exciting episode of the Geek Gauntlet podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan. I'm having some display issues. Let me go ahead and start bringing everyone in because the first thing I want to talk about is something that we were sort of kind of having a discussion backstage with all this backlash and things like that to the Acolyte. So I did want to go ahead and cover that first, and then we'll get into the fun part of the show. Let me go ahead and bring in the person who will be bringing that to you. He is our resident comic book expert. They're bringing my man Ty. Ty, what's going on? With the Stormtrooper hat.
How's it going?
What's up, man?
I was saying, you look like you got a coliseum that's like fading into another dimension behind you.
I do.
Like Doctor Strange is opening up the multiverse behind you, and you just got a portal.
There you go. We got it now, though. There we go. All right, let me go ahead and bring everybody else in, and then we'll go ahead and get to your rant. Let me bring in, she is our resident cosplay queen and the ruler of TikTok. We'll bring my girl Kat in. Kat, what's going on? How you doing tonight?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. I can't complain. Trying to get all these tech issues tonight, but I'm doing it.
And for the record, that is a Sith Trooper helmet.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what's up. You know what I'm talking about.
I got you, boo.
This was a great drunk purchase that I forgot I've ordered, and it just showed up one day. Great.
A great drunk purchase. Oh my gosh.
Yes, this was originally $100, but I got it on sale for $40 when I was drunk. So great.
The fact that you remembered you were drunk when you bought it is
well, no, I had to have been drunk because when it showed up, I was like, "How the hell? When did I order this?" And then I went like, "Oh, I guess I did it the other night when I was shit faced." Cool.
Yeah, we don't drink in Prime.
Yeah, I've learned. I've also learned I don't answer work emails after 9 o'clock at night too.
Yeah, no.
Or TikTok after 10 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot. I'm like a gremlin. You don't feed me after midnight, okay? Things happen.
On the real. All right, let's go ahead and bring on my next person. We didn't know if he was gonna make it tonight, but he did make it tonight. Bring my man Ando in. Ando, what's up?
Hi guys, and I brought a special guest. I'm the special guest. Sparky's the main attraction tonight. What do you guys think?
We're always happy to have you, though.
I know, right? It's nice to be. I didn't know if I was going to be on today. I had some personal stuff going on, and then like 8:30 rolled around. I like half-assed the rest of the stuff that I was doing. I'm like, you know what? No, I want to be on the Gauntlet today.
Is it because I sent you those nudes earlier? Did that help?
Yeah, dude.
I thought so.
Shh, they can't see what they can't see.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I gotta send you the nudes like this, right?
Yes. And you got to have the gun pose while you do it too. Yeah, that's perfect.
Can I remind you guys it's not Geek Gauntlet After Dark yet?
Yeah,
I apologize. I started that a little early.
I mean, you know, we can get away with it. We can get away with it with the FCC if it's after hours.
Yeah. 10:01 is when it's going to happen. So you people stick around because 10:01, Kat's going to start sending out the feet pics via TikTok. That's how we're going to make it happen, you know? And Sparky's just going to monitor the entire... that's right. Look at Kat that way, Sparky. Mm-hmm. Sparky's giving you the eye, Kat. You may be Daenerys.
What?
Damn.
Well, I mean...
Regardless.
No, it's a dragon. You know.
Yeah.
I'm a fabric dragon. So, I mean, it's kind of part of the same family.
There you go. All right, let me go ahead and bring in this next person. This next person has now a deep hatred of Netflix.
Ooh.
Because it would not let her watch her Sailor Moon.
Ooh,
She hates Netflix now.
Damn it, Netflix.
She is plotting a revenge tour against Netflix.
She can't Netflix and chill.
Nope.
She gonna get them too. Y'all think?
Well, she's not gonna chill if she's watching Sailor Moon, bro.
Listen,
but now she's got time to chill because they ain't playing no Sailor Moon.
Listen. Y'all think she all nice and sweet and quiet and stuff.
But she
I'm
is.
telling you, she ain't. I'm telling you.
That's because you get on her bad side, Will. I'm a Cougars fan, and I know not to get on her bad side.
Let me bring my girl Janae in. Janae, what's up?
Oh, nothing much. I still couldn't finish watching it. It kept kicking me out. I was done.
Why was it? What was it? Did it say why it was kicking? Was it like internet
Did it give
connection?
you
What
an
was it
error?
saying?
I don't know if it's my phone or what, but like I would start playing it and then all of a sudden it would stop and go back to the main screen. So I'd click it again and then it would stop and
You
go
said
back to the screen.
you were watching on your phone?
I was watching on my phone and then my phone's been doing this weird thing where like even like on YouTube videos and stuff, it'll minimize my screen when I didn't tell it to minimize.
Damn.
And so I'll minimize my screen like if I want to go like check something else out on the internets for a second. But so yeah, I don't know it's my phone or what. But,
Well, I was
What
going
kind
to
of phone do
say.
you have, Janae?
Oh,
I don't remember.
well,
It's
I
an
was,
Android.
I was gonna say, I know that I've heard some people online talk about because of Netflix doing that whole like password breakdown BS crap that sometimes people have issues watching it on their phone because even though they're at their location, for some reason the phone will like register to the closest tower, so it'll make it seem like they're not at their
The
location.
geo-tracking part, the geo-tracking.
Or you
Yeah, so
may,
sometimes it doesn't connect well. Sometimes.
Right.
what you may also want to consider is I know that they just recently asked me to verify if I was at my home residence
Damn.
through my primary device.
It
We need to
did?
start pirating more. We really do.
Yeah, well,
That's the
and
official, my official.
You are
slogan.
right.
Ty, give me a minute. I'm going to need you to tone it down so I can finish a thought.
Yeah, Ty, come on, Jesus.
So,
You might be getting out.
Go power and core.
so yeah, I went to go log into Netflix the other day and I'd been watching it, no big deal. And when I logged in, it said, please verify that you're at your home location.
Damn.
So streaming services, a lot of times you can use it out in other places like through your phone and your mobile devices, as long as you check in on your primary device within every so many days.
Mm.
And that's not just Netflix, that's Hulu, Disney Plus. Most of the major streaming carriers require that you check in on your home device every 30 days.
I feel sorry for Netflix. Janae gonna get them. Janae gonna get them.
I'm all for it, Janae. I got you.
Halfway, with all the bull crap of it kicking me out, I was halfway through the first episode. I was like, I'm not doing this for the other half plus the second episode.
Yeah, I can see it now. To see it,
Kids go to bed and I'm watching.
I can see it now. The CEO of Netflix come out. Think he going to his car. Gonna have him a nice little lunch.
Not now. He's not.
Now he ain't.
Nope.
Tires slashed.
Excuse me, Mr. Netflix corporate office
Janae
guy.
gonna be
Oh
right
God,
there.
it's today. What did we do now?
Janae gonna be right there. Where my Sailor Moon at?
Yeah. She's gonna be dressed up as Sailor Moon too, and he's just gonna know. It was at this moment the CEO knew.
It sucks 'cause one of my moon ones was my moon one that I got from like a liquidation store like back in high school. Broke, but that's my own fault. I let my daughter play with it. It's my I was like, because I was like, I'm never gonna use this again, right? And so she was playing with it and it broke. No big deal.
I told Janae one time.
Like $5.
I told Janae one time, and I still want it. I want me a tuxedo mask top just so I can throw it at somebody. Just so I can do it the hell at somebody. See how that feels.
Yeah.
God. All right. So let me go ahead and bring in the last person of this motley crew. He is my co-host for several years. He plans the show each and every week. He's playing a banger for you guys tonight. I'm going to bring my man Shaw in. Shaw, what's going on, bro?
Sup? How y'all doing today?
How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Shaw, it is my first show back, so it is good to have you back on the show, sir. Thank you for coming back, man. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So I want to go ahead. Ty and Shaw, I know you have a little bit to add to it as well. Ty, you faced some Acolyte backlash this week that you want to talk about?
There's a lot there.
I mean, hashtag toxic Star Wars fans, right? You
know. Yes, there's as everyone knows, so Acolyte was announced, was it Tuesday, Wednesday, they announced that it was not going to be renewed for season 2. Whether you like the show, whether you don't like the show, that's just the official news. There's a lot of things behind it. I think in the long term, I think this is bad. It sets a precedence for the future of any project in Star Wars. But yes, I did face some backlash. I had, again, on one of the posts online, someone said, it was posted being canceled. I wrote, "Oh, that sucks. I kind of enjoyed the show. I would have liked to see a season 2." That blew up into about 50 to 60 people attacking my post. Those are 50, 60 separate people attacking just my comment on just saying I liked it. I actually didn't respond for the first 24 hours, and I just let it build up just to see what was there. And then I ended up reading a couple of them because there was a handful that were like, okay, maybe I can try to talk to this person. Turns out I couldn't, but I honestly think that there is a real problem with the Star Wars fandom, and there's other people, like there's other fandoms that have this too. It's just Star Wars currently is kind of the big one for it. I personally have been worried that Marvel could be entering that direction, just because with the MCU's popularity growing and with the extra new big fan base coming in, I fear that MCU could get that way. It hasn't got there yet, but I do worry. But I want to clarify, when I'm saying the fan base, when I'm saying the fandom, I don't mean just because you like Star Wars, you're part of this. I want to clarify. I'm not generalizing everybody. I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm pretty sure the majority of the people here are Star Wars fans. That doesn't mean that you're part of the toxic fandom. It just, there's either a majority or a very small minority that is very, very loud. I can't tell which one it is. I really can't. That really ruins projects. And they don't.
The answer to that is yes, Ty.
What?
The answer to that is yes. There's a whole lot of them, and they're really, really loud.
Yeah, it's sad because they don't have this media literacy to understand what's happening to them, and it sucks because I get that there's and this isn't all of them, but it probably started with the concept of, how many of these 13 and 15-year-old people were that age when the first Star Wars came out. They loved it. They fell in love with it. They gave them this amazing, they felt so good watching it at the movie theater, right? When you're 15, you're watching the first Star Wars movie that's ever come out. Like, this is, oh my God. Can you guys imagine watching your first favorite movie ever? That was the greatest thing ever, right? And then, 15, 20 years later, someone comes in, adds an installment to your favorite movie ever, and it doesn't hit you the same way. And it's not necessarily because it doesn't mean that the movie was bad. It's just that movie was aimed at a 15-year-old. You are now 40. And 40-year-old, you've used the movie, you've changed. You're different. The movie isn't aimed at you. So now you're immediately upset, you're aggressive. You chase away a lot of potential people coming into the fan base. It gets vile quick. There were several actors from the prequel trilogy that quit acting because they didn't want to be a part of anything anymore. I believe one or two of them checked themselves into hospitals because they were.
I know Jake Lloyd did.
Yeah, they were being bullied so much by people who were like, "Hey, I'm going to murder you and your whole family because you were in this movie, and I'm not happy about it." And it was like, whoa, that's a hard way to come off just because you didn't like a movie.
Yeah.
And with the Acolyte, I will say in the last couple of years, Disney has, obviously Disney was it back in 2000? When did they? I forgot what year they purchased Star Wars, but it was right after John Carter failed. But they bought Disney and they've kind of ran with it. There's been a lot of different shows, a lot of different expansions into the fandom, and you kind of have to, right? Because we've kind of seen with the main movies that if you just do everything based on the Skywalker stuff, it does start to get a little old.
Yeah, it loses its taste.
Yeah, and you have this crave for more, right?
By the way, it was October 30th, 2012 when Disney officially bought the rights to Lucasfilms and Star Wars.
Well, there you go. There you learn something new. And what there's some people who I saw online were like, Star Wars has been awful since Disney bought it. Now, I stop people right there because that's a very bold statement to make, because that means you're saying like The Mandalorian's been bad. You're saying that Rogue One was bad. You're saying all these things have done very, very well.
Kenobi, the Boba Fett series.
Yeah, you're saying all these things are bad. So again, random statements like that don't make a lot of sense. Now, if you've watched everything and then you come out and be like, "Yeah, I don't like anything," that's fair. I think you have every right. The Acolyte came out, and we talked about it when it was coming out. I don't think the show was a banger. I think there were some really cool fight scenes. I think there were some really cool elements. I think there were some good actors doing some good stuff.
I personally like the concept of it because they always do the good side of things, like the good side of the Force. It was nice to kind of take that chance and look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like it was and it was cool. We're completely away from Skywalker stuff. 100 years before the events of Episode 1. So like we get some new storytelling, we get some new stuff, and
new blood in the franchise.
Exactly. We get to see some new characters, with obviously people who know the complete fandom from the books and everything. There's some hints at other characters. But like it's this cool new story we get. And I do think that the writing had some bumps. I think that there was some, it would really get really good, and then it would kind of dip a little bit and get really good and kind of dip again. So it was kind of like, but it was interesting enough that I wanted to see a season 2. Apparently that's not okay to say. Again, that toxic fandom came after people who were in support. There's a petition online. I will say I can't remember who it was who wrote the first article about the petition, but whoever did, I want to like strangle them because the headline was like, new petition, 700 people have signed. And I'm like, people are going to ridicule that when you first read that. 700 people is nothing to Disney. They're not going to care at all.
But that's not even one block in New York.
No.
Well, it ended up like if you go to the petition at that time when it was shortly after that post had come out, the petition was at like 18,000. So it was growing still. But everyone reads the 700 post and unloads about how this is the worst things ever. It's bad. It's dumb. I still love some of my favorite things that I see people like hate on it. One of my favorite comments that they've done is the fire in space from Episode 1.
Oh yeah.
And I laugh because there's two things I bring with it. One, this is a show about magical space wizards in space. Where did you think you were getting something real? And two, if you've watched any Star Wars movie or show ever, there's always been fire in space. Legitly, Phantom Menace. There's a scene where they're trying to break through the blockade with the Naboo, like the princess is like cool ship, right? That cool like whatever that ship is.
I just call it a Naboo starship. That's what I call it.
Yeah, there we go. And when it's trying to break through, we see like it gets caught up fire, and they send out the R2 droids to go fix it and put out the fire. Like Star Wars has always had
fire in space.
Yeah, so like that's a really not great argument.
And that's something that happens in every sci-fi show. Like whether it's inside a ship or outside a ship, at some point in time, something catches fire, even if it's just for a brief period of time. And that is one that actually, we're going to talk science now. It actually can happen at the right speed if you are close enough to an atmosphere. So
the concerns that I have with something like that, sure, you're going to cancel the Acolyte. And I've only seen a couple episodes of the Acolyte. But what does that do? And Ty kind of hit it on the head. What does that do for new projects? Because I know that they've been in the works for 2 or 3 years now, talking about doing the Malik and Revan story. Does that put ice on that? It's like, we only can stick to the original 9. We can only stick with the Star Wars. We can only stick with the Skywalker saga. There's only so much that you can do with the Star Wars saga Skywalker saga. Once you completely deplete that life force, it's good to have the ball rolling on other Star Wars projects. But where do you go from there? Now you're going to cancel this. Sure, it's the dark side of the Force, but it could have that let's see where this story takes us. we know branch A, branch C, and branch E lead off to these questions and these scenarios in the future shows and the future movies. Give us the Darth Plagueis story, right? Show us how Darth Sidious became who he was. But you're turning your back on what I think some people are concerned being the evil side, the dark side of the Force. We can't corrupt our children. You're taking away that whole side of the concept now. So all it's going to be is light side, light side, light. Well, how did the dark? Oh, we can't go into that. It's the forbidden side that nobody can talk about. It bothers me, especially with Disney being who they are. You taking that off the plate, you're really going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt your fandom, and you're going to hurt this property that you spent so much money on so long ago that those stories won't be available for you later.
So here's my take on it. For starters, a lot of these Talks fans, like you said, you're talking your 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, even up to early 20.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say this, and they're all brat and not in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I say that. So as an original Star Wars fan, Will, you can attest to this. Back in the day, nothing, even the original trilogy. Let's start right there. The original trilogy, looking back at it, did the graphics hold up? Did the special effects hold up? No, they're cheesy as hell.
Yep.
But it was what we got at the time.
What was it? The Sarlacc in Episode 6 that was on Tatooine that ate everybody, including Boba Fett. That was cheesy as hell.
There's so much bad. I mean, they worked with what they had, and they had a horrible budget. I mean, R2-D2 was literally inspired by a vacuum cleaner. I can get into that. This is true.
Yeah.
But here's the situation. So then, the original Star Wars fan base, after 3 movies, we got next to nothing. We had books. Mm-hmm. We had our own fan fiction. We had our own fan base, like each people's sharing fan theories. That was how we got Star Wars for 20 years.
You're talking about after the original 3 and
yes,
the what, late 70s, right?
Yeah, 77, 78.
I thought the last one came out 80. I thought, or am I wrong?
Take a look.
I'm
pretty sure it was 79.
The first one was 78, 79, 77, 78, somewhere in there.
Oh, so maybe 84 then was the last one.
So then we had to wait 20 years.
May 25th, 1983 is when the official release date for Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi came out. So Tyler's right. It was actually
longer than 20 years because it was 1997 before we got another one. Mm-hmm. No, 98. Sorry, 98.
Yeah.
98. What was 98?
That was when Episode 1 came out.
No, Random Menace came out. I thought 99. I thought.
I'll take a look. Hold on.
I thought it was just
Give me your fact check king today. Give me a
minute. I just thought it was just before because Titan AE came out like about 6 months after Phantom Menace. Because Titan AE was supposed to like compete with it.
Okay.
Yep. Ty's right. May 19th, 1999.
Okay.
So 26 years.
I know shortly after I graduated high school, but still 20 years.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And
Kat graduated high school?
Yeah.
I'm not saying nothing.
Hold on. Somebody had to zing at a cat. I'll take the bullet today. It's all good.
And then from there, it was almost another 20 years before we got Episode 7.
You want me to fact check that too, Kat?
I'm talking round figures. I mean, you want to get an exact date, fine. I'm talking general figures.
Right.
So the original fandom, and even the fans that came out that were a little bit toxic after 1, 2, and 3, we appreciate the fact that there's even Star Wars content for us that isn't coming out of us.
Yeah.
And so the reason I say that this new and a lot of this toxic Star Wars fan base is brat, you mofos are getting a new Star Wars show and new Star Wars content as canon content, every year at this point? Every 6 months, even in some cases?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all want to complain about all the Star Wars content. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I crack my own jokes about certain things in the Acolyte? Yes. Did they have a horrible fight choreographer until apparently that last episode's where they threw all in?
Right.
But the thing is, these people are so ready to just like attack everything. And I'm not sure if it's because of the fact that they are so insecure in everything else in their life that they're like, the only thing I have holding me together is Star Wars. And so if it doesn't go the way it is when I play with my dolls, everything's just going to fall apart. And so then they have to turn into this loud, because really most of the rest of us are just like, dude, we're happy we have Star Wars. Shut up. Like legit, STFU, bro. Like, we don't want to hear it. Now, as far as Disney canceling the second season, oh, it's money. I would say dollar for dollar, it's a money issue, because they can't seem to figure out how to throw less than $200 billion at a project.
I wrote down all these numbers. So I have all these numbers.
Yeah, that's fine. And like I said, I'm throwing rough numbers, but a lot of these.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I wrote them down not because like you're having. No, I wrote them down because I was going to bring them up. That's I have a whole list. So when after you're done, I was going to say, because I was going to compare. You're right. That was my next thing, was going to money.
You know, you don't have to throw $200 billion at a show for it to be successful.
Facts.
Write a decent script.
I mean, can you expect a show to be successful if you're constantly throwing $200 million at it and expecting a profit right off the bat?
No.
I mean, you can't. Something like that takes time.
I have numbers. I have numbers.
All right. I think Ty should have for numbers.
Can I just want to say one funny thing, and then Ty, can you do your numbers?
Yeah.
So, Kat, I think what happened is they didn't angry binge it like they did with Velma, and that's why it failed.
Oh my god!
You know what?
You're right. There was not enough hate watching.
You know what? That's a good point. Too, that's a good point.
So you're saying that they pulled on this Star Wars episode because Luke wasn't in it, the same thing they did with Velma when Scooby wasn't in it?
Right.
Here's the thing, though.
Okay, I want to make sure everybody's on the same level ground. Got it.
But here's the situation. With the Acolyte, that has nothing to do with Luke Skywalker.
Exactly.
Even I know that, and I'm not the biggest Star Wars guy. Even I know that.
What? Will's not a Star Wars guy?
He said he's not the biggest Star Wars guy.
Biggest Star Wars guy. Hell no.
You may watch a movie now and then. Like, he's got that collection of lightsabers behind him. That's why he uses the green screen. He doesn't want to see how much fandom he has. How else are you supposed to, impress those Chinese and Asian chicks?
I'm buying one day, sir.
So Will, what's your
websites?
OC Star Wars character, bro? Come on.
Cat hooked me up with a couple of websites. I found one. They were doing like lightsabers for like $500. Hell no. Your boy ain't got it like that. So Cat hooked me up with a couple of sites. 150, 250, 3. I can do that. I'm gonna get me like 2 of them. I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna press all the Asian ladies.
Gotta put it on TikTok, bro.
Oh hell yeah, I'll put it on TikTok, and then me and Ty gonna do it on TikTok.
But Ty, remember,
I still need our dual disc. We need to get that GoFundMe for dual disc,
man. I need Konami to sponsor us. That's what I need.
God, actually, no, is that still the main company? Because Yu-Gi-Oh is like the only thing that what's his face took away from the company when he left.
You know, Yu-Gi-Oh used to be Upper Deck, and then Konami took it over.
Oh, okay. I just remember when what's his face left like Konami and all of them, like Yu-Gi-Oh is like the old people are like, why did he take Yu-Gi-Oh? Like that's the only thing he took.
Yeah, I think it was Upper Deck.
Well, so do you want me to say numbers? I can.
Go ahead.
So yes, my next thing I was going to pivot to is when it comes to numbers. However, the numbers I think are actually going to be interesting for you all because they're not as stark as they look. Acolyte is cost per episode is more than any of the other shows have been, which is strange compared to what we got. But it's not by
more
that
expensive
much.
Even than the Mandalorian.
Yes, 100%. So Acolyte was basically costing about $22.5 million an episode. So it was $180 million for the season.
Damn.
Mandalorian was doing so for most of these shows. I only chose season 1 because some of these have a couple of seasons. So I only chose season 1.
Yeah.
because that's you never know how season 1's going to go, so you base off that, right?
Yeah.
And Mandalorian was swinging because that was the first live action Star Wars show that was coming out, right? Like that was the Disney Plus like heavy hitter Star Wars coming.
This is why you get Disney Plus for the Mandalorian.
Yeah, right.
What's Mandalorian? Nobody knows.
Away, I'm canceling Disney.
And so Mandalorian had 8 episodes, season 1. It was 15 million an episode. Altogether, 120 million the cost. So, you're looking about 7 million less an episode than Acolyte. On Obi-Wan Kenobi had 6 episodes. It was about 15 mil an episode. Damn. So 90 mil altogether. The Book of Boba Fett was about 15 mil an episode, 105 together. Andor cost the most to make. Now there is 12 episodes though with Andor. Andor cost 250 million to make with a budget of 20.8 million an episode. So pretty close to Acolyte's budget, but way more costly like overall.
But if I remember, Andor was the one that was based off of Rogue One, correct? That was the same
it was a prequel to Rogue One with the characters and creator from Rogue One. Yeah. But just to compare this, so because we just threw a bunch of numbers out there for Star Wars shows, right? I compared a couple big shows people should know uncompared budgets, just to give you an idea how inflated I think Disney is inflating things to a point that's ridiculous. Keeping in the Disney realm, we can talk about Loki. Loki season 1 was 150 million to make with 6 episodes, so about 25 million an episode.
But that was I think that was a bigger IP. So you have to get the same people. Like Tom Hiddleston isn't going to come on for penny.
Is Star Wars? So you're saying MCU is a bigger IP than Star Wars?
Maybe not. I would say Loki probably is bigger than anything Star Wars is running.
But again, I'm talking about the first season of Loki. So this was a risk. They hadn't done anything like that.
I will agree it was a risk. But I think when Loki came out, it was coming at the tail end of Infinity War.
Yep.
So people were invested because at that point, Endgame hadn't come out. The Infinity Saga was not over. People were invested.
It was after Endgame.
Let's keep
all the shows were after Endgame.
Okay, all right.
But let's also keep this in the realm of Star Wars, because here's really the situation. We can compare every Marvel show they've done and their budgets. But let's face it, I think you can look at the Marvel shows.
Well, I only wrote one Marvel show. The rest are other shows.
Yeah. You can look at like Loki and see, okay, what they paid for, they got their money's worth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With some of these Star Wars shows, you're looking at that and you're like, so my high school theater could have done that.
Well, again, that's why I'm wondering if Disney puts too much money into these things. Because, so like, I'll try and hit these real quick. But like Game of Thrones, season 1 of Game of Thrones, which was made for HBO, so it wasn't for streaming, it was for their HBO network. Do you know how much that cost?
I'm going to say 30 million an episode.
About 6 million an episode.
Mm-hmm. Oh, way off.
Season 1 of Game of Thrones only cost about 60 million altogether to make season 1 of Game of Thrones, which is half the budget of some of those shows.
And a much larger cast too.
Yeah.
Max, we'll talk about Max with their streaming. House of Dragons. I couldn't find any exact numbers on season 1, so these numbers are season 2. Season 2 of House of Dragons is so far one of the most. It is 20 million an episode. So, but look what we're getting. Mm-hmm. Oh my god!
And that actually, some of that could be getting back to Ando's point of some of the names they have. Some of those actors.
Yeah. So like he's Acolyte. What big actor was Acolyte? Was sucking up Acolyte?
No, we're not talking Acolyte. We're talking House of the Dragon.
Oh,
Matt Smith. He's a big name.
Sure.
Doctor Who made him a big name.
I think you can also agree that the prequel to the House of Dragon, because so many people were invested in the House of Targaryen, they wanted to see what that prequel was.
Yeah. And there were a few other actors and actresses that they're like, I can't think of who they are off the top of my head.
Sure.
But they were big enough names from other projects in the same kind of genre.
Right.
Sure.
That I could see where that would have driven the cost of House of the Dragon up. But once again, we're getting production value that matches that cost.
Right.
Just a few more. Almost there. Apple TV, The Foundation, another big sci-fi show, right? How much do you think that was costing?
Mr. Ty, I think that was $4.20 million.
You're actually really fucking close.
I was getting hot. What can I say?
4.5 million an episode. So, and Foundation looks good. Shaw, you can agree, right? Foundation looks great.
Mhm. Yep.
And that's there's a lot of CGI in Foundation. So like, Paramount Plus, which actually at times CBS All Access, Star Trek Discovery season 1, they were doing about 8.3 million an episode. Netflix Stranger Things season 1 was doing roughly about 6 mil an episode. Prime with The Boys season 1 was doing roughly about 11 and a quarter million. The only one that I will say that Prime clearly has overshot Disney, which I'm sure everyone knows, which coming up here is season 2, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Season 1 was basically coming down to about a little over 58 million an episode.
Damn.
So,
But dude, the Lord of the Rings, so well, you got to
season 1 of Rings of Power was 465 million the cost.
58 million.
Hold on, Will, look at the backstory though. Like, think of how many. Lord of the Rings has the top 2 selling book spots of 1 and 2.
I agree, but damn,
Dude,
that number is huge.
No,
that number is huge.
And then just the last number I had was the last 2 things to have with number wise to compare is if you compare it to, because other people compare these online around shows and movies that come out on, around the same time frame that have spent budgets. Just to give you an idea of proof that movies can be extremely successful without a big budget. Right, one of the big ones that came out recently that had way too much of a budget, Deadpool and Wolverine, was 200 million. So that's crazy, right? However, the creator did 80 million. Alien Romulus, which I just saw and we'll talk about later tonight, fucking amazing, only 80 million. Godzilla Minus One, 15 million to make. And these movies were box office hits. These are like massive successes. So you don't have to put 100 and 200 300 million dollars into these shows to make them successful. So what my question is, where's that money going? Where is Disney throwing this money at? And I'll tell you right now, it's not at the writers, it's not at the majority of the actors or any of the set crew. So where the hell is this money going? It's just proof that shows. And then when we talked about how like they're gauging how successful the show was with their audience stuff, so unfortunately, like a lot of these streaming platforms, they don't release the data of how many people are watching, so we have to rely on third-party numbers because they don't they keep them close to their chest. Netflix does this, Disney, everyone does. They don't like to tell people how many people watch their show because it's just whatever reason they think they need to be all hush secretive. A lot of times they get them from Nielsen ratings. Now the only thing about Nielsen ratings, I'll speak right now, is that it's kind of is skewed because again it's third party, and then also it's they pulled out in like 2019, I think they pulled out of small markets, so everything they're pulling is just from large markets like LA, New York City. So anywhere right here in Yakima is not a Nielsen market, so like these numbers they don't have, so like it's kind of one of those like, okay, we'll see what happens. What we have though from the numbers of like what Nielsen reported was this. They can report on how many minutes were spent watching a show, right? So like how many, you get what I'm saying, like how many minutes were spent watching that season. Surprisingly, Acolyte is not the lowest on that list. Andor was. Andor, which had more episodes, was substantially so Andor, it was like they spent about an average 208 million minutes was spent on it, but Acolyte had 244 million minutes. So more people watched the Acolyte than they did Andor, and Andor is being considered a success. So by that rating, my question is, okay, so there is numbers showing that people watched the Acolyte. People did enjoy it, but I think it's a little bit great. Again, you had an inflated cost in making each episode, so I think that plays into it. Cost 100% plays into it. Mm-hmm. You did have a huge amount of backlash for this show before it even aired. People bombed this show actively, and I hate to say it, but it was a lot. Right now, during this heated political season, the word woke has come up, and it's a just stupid word, but that was what was bombed like ASAP over this show, simply because it was not a white male lead. And people can say all day long that wasn't the case, but it was. It 100% was. I had this discussion with someone online earlier today. They tried to say, well, shows like Ahsoka and Obi-Wan and Andor overcame the toxic fan base. So that means they must have been good shows. Acolyte couldn't have been. I said, well, here's the thing though. For the most part, none of those shows had review bombing happening at the beginning. Most of those shows didn't have that hatred coming into it. Andor already was writing off people loved Rogue One. We were bringing back a character from Rogue One. We were bringing back the director from Rogue One. People were excited. This was something people knew and people were already happy for. Ahsoka has become a fan favorite character for the fans like crazy. And this was also going to have a direct connection to the Star Wars Rebels series. So people were already super welcoming for Ahsoka. Yeah. So the shows that he's talking about didn't have that backlash. I think Disney saw that there was billions of people hating on the show, attacking it, going after, and honestly, Disney was like, well, we don't really want to deal with that. We don't want to deal with the backlash. We don't want to deal with the fighting of these people lashing out. The show probably, I bet you this show broke even, but I bet you that's it. I bet you the show didn't it didn't make tons of money, but it probably, comparing to how many people watched the show and how much profit they made with the show, how much it cost, I bet you they broke even. However, yes.
Is it safe to say that those other shows that you mentioned, Ahsoka,
yes,
Obi-Wan, and Andor,
yes,
all could be considered successes because of the anchors that were put into that show? Every single one of those shows that you mentioned have some form of connection with the original Star Wars trilogy in some way, shape, or form. Ahsoka, maybe not directly, because we didn't see Ahsoka in the prequel trilogy in 1, 2, and 3.
But she's Anakin's. She's Anakin's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anybody who follows Star Wars or knows the Star Wars lore knows Endo was a part of that Death Star creation, which is why they loved it with Rogue One. Obviously, anybody who knows Star Wars knows who Obi-Wan is. And then Ahsoka obviously brings that other side of Anakin. I think because of the term I'm going to use is out of the box, with how out of the box Disney went with Acolyte. I think they took a much bigger risk with that show than they did with any of the other ones that they had. And you're absolutely right. I think money is the determining factor. If you put how much money into it they did? 200 million into that show?
180 million.
180 million. And you break even. Can you blame them for being like, all right, we're going to scrap any future projects with the Acolyte, right?
Okay, but that goes to my point though. When I put those numbers up, look at Andor. I bet you Andor barely broke even.
But again, Andor has that anchor to Rogue One. So there are people
like there's that fandom, because there's that anchor, because the fans were welcoming to it. Yeah. That's why it went that way. It sucks that something could be more, but we are too much playing to the safety net, and we're too busy kind of catering to the toxic fan base. That, again, I don't think toxic fans are the number one reason. Money clearly is a reason for it, but I think that toxic fan base has kind of chased away. You're chasing away the new fans that could be coming in. And if there's no new fans coming in, guess what? There's no new money. There's no new revenue coming in. And they're going to turn that away. If you don't have any
new ideas, what's the point in you keeping an IP?
Well, again, I don't even think it's the ideas. I think there's plenty of ideas. That's not even it. I think it's just, if you can't keep growing your fan base, if you can't keep having younger kids getting into Star Wars because there's too many dudes online who are like, screw you and your mom, or blah blah blah. If they're basically a Call of Duty chat base, might as well they're gonna recognize, they're gonna look at it 10 years from now, and they're gonna be like, well, honestly, we're losing more and more kids watching it, so we're gonna have less and less people watching the show, less and less people buying the merch, and they're gonna realize that it's not worth their money anymore, so they're not gonna spend it. And so now what you're putting the pressure on, like shows like Skeleton Crew gonna be coming out, is if this thing doesn't hit day one as a success, they'll pull the plug immediately. They'll pull it, and it sucks, because how do you get invested on a new project? How do you start getting invested in a new character when they might not be here next year?
And it's like I said, you're taking away by you canceling the show. Oh, because we're focusing on a different side of stuff. What's to make you say, hey guys, I have this idea. Okay, what's it about? The dark side of we already went there with Acolyte. That was I think you cut the ties too soon, especially with a company like Disney. You got to give it 2 or 3 seasons before you consider it a failure or before you cut the cords.
And I will say, if you want to see more dark side stuff, have you watched Star Wars Visions?
I have not.
Season 2 of Visions really seems to touch a lot of dark side stuff.
Okay.
Just my suggestion. But no, yeah, it's just one of those things that I think Disney is spending too much money, and I would love to know why a lot of these shows are starting to get that way, where again, they believe they're going to put $200 million into a project, and they're believing that they're going to get trillions back, and I don't know why they think that, because that's not realistic. And then yes, if you keep catering to a toxic base, they will continue to chase out the people that are incoming, the new people who might be interested in the projects, and it'll kill your IP. You won't be able.
You're burning your bridges to future ideas.
Right.
Yes, and so you're not going to be able to grow it. And Star Wars, if it's going to succeed, it needs to grow. And this is a terrible example to bring up, but unfortunately, it is successful. Fast and Furious. Look at Fast and Furious. Like, it is. Arguably, it's a successful franchise. It is a dumb franchise, but it's a lot of fun.
That should have died after 7.
But
I hate to say it, but that series should have. No, not going to say.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you, Ed. I'm just saying clearly it's still making money. People are still going to the theaters and seeing it. That's why they're still putting out these movies. And they changed because they realized after the first couple, you couldn't just be a race car movie. You couldn't just, you couldn't be just doing street racing all the time. You had to do more. Now they might as well be superheroes in space.
I like the idea of what they were doing up until even 6. I think 6 was an original idea. Then when they did 7 and Brian O'Connor's character died, R.I.P. Paul Walker, they should have ended it there. I think I speak for the majority of F&F fans when
I didn't mind Hobbs and Shaw, the Hobbs and Shaw movie.
But that only came after 8, right? Because you still have 9, and then you have 10. But
my comparison point is, again, you got to change. You got to add to the franchise. You got to add something new. You can't keep milking it forever. I mean, Call of Duty tried milking it forever, and now they're no longer on top. They're no longer the top dogs. They're still a big game. Everyone's gonna know Call of Duty, but they're not the number one shooter anymore.
Oh god.
It's just it's one of those things. If you keep milking it for so long, it's gonna kill. It's gonna die, and it's gonna go away. And so, yeah, I don't know. I guess my PSA to the world and my suggestion is this: if anyone could walk away with something tonight, it's this. If you don't like something with Star Wars, that's okay. You have that right. If you watched Acolyte and you're like, hey, I watched it, I really didn't like the writing, I didn't like this, whatever reason, that's totally okay. You have that right, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think, and even if you even want to go online when you see a post like, hey, I didn't really like Acolyte, I think you have that right, and there's nothing wrong with that. The issue is when someone else posts something like, hey, I like Acolyte, and then you go, hey, F you, go kill yourself. That's where you're escalating to a point that doesn't make sense, and that's where you.
There's a level of respect you should keep, and that's one thing I really dislike about the internet community is they have no filter. They think it's okay to say stuff, and then when people act out on it, they were bullied online. Well, yeah, you're entitling this bullying online.
See, here's another thing too that bothers me. You know, we just can't have any friendly disagreements. Me and Shaw disagree all the time. He loves Blue Beetle. I can't stand it. We got into it a little bit today with my Elza versus Sub-Zero, and we disagreed on that. But it was a respectable disagreement.
And it's fun. Those conversations are fun when you have like friends in the geek community. Those are fun. Like, that's how you make friends too. If people wondering how to make friends, go talk to someone who has another idea than you and get a lab. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Are we talking about our favorite Marvel movies? Because I'm pretty sure Ty said his was Madam Web, right?
No, sir.
To be fair, I already made a joke when I went to see Romulus. We're sitting in the theater, right? And I went with a buddy, and like the trailer, when we were standing in line waiting for popcorn or whatever, the trailer comes on for Kraven the Hunter, and I told my friend, like, "Oh, that's gonna be your movie, right?" And he's like, and then even the person getting the popcorn starts like giggling because like, and then we sit down, and the movie starts coming on, and I was like, "How much you want to bet there's gonna be a Kraven the Hunter trailer just for you?" And he goes, "Shut up." And Kraven the Hunter comes on, and I was like, "The #1 movie of the year, baby, Kraven the Hunter."
Well, it can't
Man.
be any worse than Madam Web.
Move out of the way, Morbius. It's Craven time.
That Madam Web was terrible. That was trash.
Well,
still haven't-
supposedly Borderlands is worse. Supposedly, I don't know if that's true.
Dude,
But supposedly
I haven't
Borderlands.
seen Borderlands yet.
I haven't either.
I have heard that Borderlands is bombing.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I haven't seen that movie yet.
Did you not see the meme that I shared that I was like, oh, it made me worried? It was like the guy handing the sword, and the guy handing the sword was like Madam Web, and then he was handing it to Borderlands, like, oh, you're the new worst. And I was like, oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah,
Not good at all. Damn.
Rumor did have it. I'm pretty sure somebody put it in the chat while we're on the subject of Borderlands. I guess they are getting digital DVD release or digital release end of the month.
Is it digital release just as in like you could buy it, or is it digital like streaming?
Streaming.
Yeah.
Oh, so
So it's going to streaming. Yeah.
Ooh, where's it going?
That's not good.
I don't remember.
Oh, I'll have to keep an eye out. I'll watch it at the end of the month then.
Yeah, that's bad. That kind of movie, I think it should have gone straight to DVD anyway. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's a great idea. Like, video game movies tend to bomb at the box office.
So
Yeah,
I
do.
saw a really funny. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Pitchman on YouTube. It's basically how they think things got pitched to companies.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
So this one, like the gal comes in and she's like, and they're like doing like the after pitch of like, so sir, the movie released and it only did this much. And he's like, have you logged on to Steam today?
Yeah.
And she's like, wait a minute. So we released this movie just to increase our video gameplay? It's like, sometimes that's how it goes.
Damn.
I
And
do.
then, of course, they announced Borderlands, the game Borderlands 4 is coming out.
Yeah, that actually is one of the video game news I have when we talk about video games.
I do like the jokes they did make when she said in that video. She's like, like other video games like Last of Us and other ones have done very well. We could have. He goes, yeah, but it's just easier to suck. Like it's just way easier to put out a shitty movie and just still get our video games up.
Well, it's like Cyberpunk didn't the downloads for the game go up really high after the anime too.
Yeah, but didn't the anime do well?
Yeah,
it did way better than the game.
But the game was pretty good before.
The game had issues when it first came out. Like they announced the free DLC because of
but
how
here's
bad
the thing:
bombed.
have people never played a game from Bethesda?
That's a good point.
Hold on. To be fair, Skyrim kicked ass when it first came out.
You're right.
No, it didn't.
But actually, no, because day one, my character ended up running around because I did midnight release of Skyrim.
Okay.
I was for it.
How many horses were in the sky? Okay.
Yeah, there were horses in the sky. Because of the fur texturing on the Khajiit, you couldn't ever see your armor. So I didn't realize that my Khajiit was running around naked.
Thank God you couldn't play that game online.
That's flashing people.
Well, so that's it. So
That's flashing the cat.
with the
Damn.
texturing of the character, you couldn't see any armor. So you could have had plate mail on and not seen it because it was just covered
That's like some Dr. Manhattan level shit.
That is, though, a dope way to get into a fight. So let someone punch you and then realize you have metal underneath there. Be like, oh, ha-ha, you broke your fist. Ha-ha.
The way that I found out that my character had, it was totally an Emperor's New Clothes moment for my character. Because for those that have played Skyrim, you get into that first big city, and the NPCs kind of start reacting to your character coming into town. And as I'm getting closer to the castle, people are like, why don't they have any clothes on? Why is that adventure? And I was like, oh, they just it's because I'm a Khajiit, this, that, the other. And I went to go, I think I picked up an item somewhere and I went to go put it on and realized I had nothing equipped. So my unarmed fighting skill on that character was high.
You were naked.
Because I was running around naked.
That was naked.
Is that how she won all the fights? Because everybody
That was naked, boy.
With that level 1 bow and sword.
Hey, was OnlyFans out there?
Cat likes some voyeurism. What'd you say, Will?
Was OnlyFans out there?
No.
Nah.
Not like it is now.
I'm sure it was. It just probably wasn't as popular as it is right now. People probably used OnlyFans back then for what it was supposed to be used for.
Right. Not
The
everything
same way
now.
all those other websites were used for different things.
Craigslist, you could actually buy stuff, not services.
When it comes to those things, all I think about, I got to meet Will Wheaton a few years ago at
I'm
Comic-Con.
sorry, who?
Will Wheaton?
Will Wheaton?
Yeah.
Will Wheaton? Why are you putting so much emphasis on the H?
Wheaton, I don't know, man.
Will Wheaton seems like a nice guy. You guys should be nicer to Will Wheaton.
And he gave a big speech about how he bought a T-shirt. He was so happy about this T-shirt because the T-shirt said if the holodeck was real, it'd be used for porn. And he said, he joked because he said his wife goes, my wife's a normie, and he's like, she came and saw that shirt, and he goes, I was all happy to show her, and he's like, she was like, okay, and he's like, well, you know what the holodeck is, right? And she's like, I'm assuming Star Trek. And he's like, I did spend the next 45 minutes explaining the inner workings of the holodeck to her, and why my shirt is funny because the holodeck, if it was real, would be used for porn. I'm like,
yes, very
100%. I must have missed that episode of Star Trek.
While we're on the subject of shows being canceled, are we? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Are we done with the Star Wars?
I mean, listen, other people. Shaw, did you have some stuff to say about it, or
No, all good.
Cool.
All
Yeah,
right,
while we're on the subject,
I think my PSA, my PSA was just that. Yeah, be nicer to people. Move on. Accept the show. Like the show. Whatever you want to do, but realize cancellation is not always great because of the future. Also, I will say Disney. F you for taking everything off the Disney store. That to me is a big middle finger. That's really not cool to the people who made the show, because like why on earth would you take all of your merch?
It was only off for like one day. It's back already.
Did it come back?
now?
Yeah,
Okay,
it was back.
Okay, then that's on me. I didn't know that. I just
Yeah.
remember seeing it got taken down, and I went to the site and saw it was down, and I was like, what the heck? So okay, if it's back, then forgive me, Disney. Then sorry. But
I did find out back in July. I don't know if you guys have talked about it. I know it's been a little while since I've been on the show. But it was announced end of July, early August that Halo on Paramount Plus officially got canceled. So they are only going to do the 2 seasons there. The developers of Halo, yeah, they are looking to find another provider to be able to show the show. Because you can't end it on a cliffhanger like that. So.
Well, and actually, we've got season 2 was really, really good.
I thought so. Yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence if it was better than season 1. I think they did a really good job telling the story in season 2, a lot better than season 1. There was a lot. I think I was a lot more invested into season 2. Yeah. So for Paramount to cancel it that way, it kind of sucks. But I think with as popular as it is, and the show writers having an idea of where season 3 was going to go, I got a feeling it'll be picked up. It just won't be released in 2025, maybe early 2026. I would hope.
What would be interesting with that is, and some of you Xbox folks out there may remember this, they used to have the Halo Network, and I think it's still, you can still access it.
I think I still have the app, the Halo Network app. Yep.
Yeah.
I can take a look as soon as I get off offline. So
wouldn't that be kind of cool? Like, hey, if they're going to bring Halo, who's going to pick it up? The Halo Network. Yeah. But it's only available for Xbox people.
Well, Microsoft doesn't want to foot the bill on paying for
it. They might surprise you.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say right there is, Paramount clearly when they did that, like, which is weird. It's weird that Paramount did it because they already had a successful sci-fi IP, which is Star Trek. So it's weird that they jumped on. I mean, cool, more power to them. But I know a lot of the, right now, fantasy and sci-fi and maybe superhero shows. Those are kind of the trifecta that everyone, 15, 20 years ago, it was finding law shows and stuff like that. Well, right now, it's getting a sci-fi show, it's getting a fantasy show, and getting a superhero show of some sorts.
I think they brought Halo on before they brought in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, but they still have Discovery and all the other ones.
Right, but Discovery was getting a lot of backlash at the time when they first announced doing Halo. Sure. So I think it was kind of like Halo was kind of like, let's put this in the bag just in case none of the rest of this pans out.
That's fair. I think if the other networks out there are looking to make some good sci-fi IPs, Mass Effect or Destiny, come on, guys.
Whoa! Don't put Mass Effect out there, bro. We have a very horrible game in Mass Effect Andromeda. You got to do a really good job on Mass Effect.
I mean,
but can you fit Mass Effect into like Mass Effect 1 you can fit into a season? Can you? Or is Mass Effect 1 like a 2-season arc?
I mean, to be fair, Halo doesn't follow Halo very well. So like
That's
you
fair.
could, you know,
Yeah.
You know what does fit into Halo well? Geek After Dark. We're officially Geek After Dark, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the shirt off. Boom, 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 boom. Nah. Keeping
See,
my
I would
clothes
start
on.
taking my shirt off, but then we would get people sending money to put my shirt back on.
No, the Bangladesh people love us, man. They'd be like, "Oh, here we go, more
Money's money. Money is
You
money.
love us.
Like
That's
do
true.
love us.
That's true. Maybe
You do
so. What
love
I
us.
should do is start the show and After Dark naked, and then they keep giving me money to put the clothes back on. Okay.
Remember, you got to put the Sith Trooper helmet on.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Naked and just the helmet. There we go.
There we go.
That's better, right?
Yep, I like it.
You can conceal your identity that way. All right.
And that's entertainment on its own. Mwah.
Choke me,
All right,
Daddy.
y'all. Let's go ahead and move on with the topics of the night. We got some show reviews coming up first. Go ahead, Shaw.
All right, so first up, want to go in depth for Umbrella Academy. Anybody see the last season of Umbrella Academy?
I wish I didn't.
Damn.
All right,
As someone who
what do you
loves
think?
like being positive, I wish I didn't. Just end it. End it in season 3. Just end it there.
Damn, man.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
That
Shaq.
bad?
All right, Kat, what do you think?
So here's the thing. I definitely the ending, the way they ended it wasn't great. Do I think that the way that they finally kind of told Ben's story, I thought was good though. So, I mean, like I said, not a fan of some of the elements of it, but I feel like Ben kind of even once they had the sparrows, Ben was just kind of like the dead brother and the jerk. It was so we really didn't know a whole lot about his story. So I felt like this was a really neat way to kind of showcase what his power had been, how that all worked, and kind of explain the death of Umbrella Academy Ben a little bit better.
Sure.
So I didn't hate it. I mean, there were definitely the ending. There were a few parts that were, but I'm sorry. Luther as a stripper in an astronaut costume, a bad astronaut costume, was gold.
Oh, sure. I'm not disagreeing that there's some funny moments, but here's the problem I have. I think there's two big things I have with it. One is that 2 episodes in, it feels like someone came to him and said, "Hey, I'm not giving you 10 episodes this season. You're only going to get 6. So you better figure out the last 4, shove everything together, I guess." And then 2, this made the Game of Thrones ending look actually pretty decent.
We have a question here.
I want Finn. Finn is great. Boyega is great.
So the only thing though, because they couldn't, Boyega won't work with Disney
Oh, yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, he won't.
I don't think there's a way to do Finn's path.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him go back. I really would. I would love to see them get into some really, not just Acolyte, but like get deep into the Old Republic.
Thank you for the comment, Whisper. We appreciate you being here to stream.
So, like really dig into the Old Republic a bit, really get that lore that the toxic Star Wars fan base is not ready for.
Yeah.
Where isn't there still that like petition? Everyone wants to see Keanu Reeves as Darth Revan.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Hey, Disney, Keanu Reeves can do no wrong. At this point, it is Keanu Reeves' world, and we just live in it. So just give it to us.
Mm-hmm. It might save your franchises.
Yeah.
Just hire Keanu Reeves for everything. Keanu
Because
Reeves.
who can really out there? The answer. Who out there really can say like, I don't like Keanu Reeves. You know what? No one likes you. Okay. There's not going to be a bunch of people online saying that they hate Keanu Reeves because he's.
Yeah.
It's like if Ryan Reynolds was doing his own solo Star Wars movie. You're not going to get a bunch of people online being like, I hate Ryan Reynolds. He's America's sweetheart at this point. Like,
here's the thing: you will because people are trolls.
oh, sure, but you're not going to get you're not going to get that majority that you've been getting lately. You're going to get only the trolls because it's just they're not going to be loud enough. The other side that aren't toxic are going to be much louder to defend someone who is like good and decent. And Keanu Reeves, everything we've seen online of Keanu Reeves, apparently he's like a great human being, like an actual decent person. And he's a good actor. So like he's a good actor. He's fun. He's a good human being. I would like nothing more to see him have a great, successful life.
All right, Shaw, what's up next?
All right, next up, I wanted to talk about more recent series Code Geass: Rose of the Recapture, which is a sequel series to the Code Geass movies, not the show. It's in a different universe, different timeline. Certain characters are alive and certain characters are dead, yada yada. It's really good. I advise anyone who saw the original series to see this. Really good. There's some good cameos. The main character is really interesting. There's a lot of interesting twists and turns. And yeah, Janae, you've seen it. What do you think?
I was able to watch at least 3 episodes, and I've never seen the original or the movies, so I'm actually, because of like what I've seen so far, I'm gonna go back and watch Code Geass and the movies because it was pretty good. The animation's great, storyline so far it's really good, and I agree with you on the twists and turns. It's like, oh, that's gonna happen. Okay, how are they gonna manage that? So I'm excited to have a new anime to watch. So I agree with Chuck. Start watching.
Yep.
And
where can we watch that show?
okay, there's no food.
Hey,
There's
Shaw,
no
where,
I just found a photo of you, Janae, I'm sending to you. After you just said
where can we
that,
watch
maybe
that
think of
show at, Shaw?
Yeah. All right.
Where can you watch the show?
Hulu.
Hulu? Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right, what's next?
All right, next up, we got Alien Romulus. Did anybody watch the movie?
I
think I has an opinion on it.
Please, what did you think
I'm
about it?
gonna say right now, spoiler alert, I will not be watching it. I haven't watched any of the Alien
Well,
movies.
I will happily not say any spoilers if that's what we want. I'm more than happy to say no spoilers.
No, I'm just saying I'm not gonna watch it. Like, I watched the trailer when I went to go see Twisters 3 weeks ago and got freaked out on just the trailer alone.
That's
So
fair.
your boy, your white boy over here in the corner will not be watching it. But hats off to anybody else. My mom in Florida and her son went to go watch it. So yeah, hats off to them. I just nope. My head would be in the popcorn bowl the entire movie. Is it over? Is it over? Please over. Is it
Man, those
over?
popcorn buckets are dope as hell for Alien. I wish I got some. I just can't spend $40 on a popcorn bucket.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's good. It's really, really good. I'm also really happy that I don't know why I got this, but I did. Is I decided to rewatch all the Alien movies leading up to it, which was eight movies essentially, an Alien franchise leading into it.
Damn.
Including the Alien versus Predator, which is arguably some people say isn't canon. But I watched all 8 of the movies, and it only made me hello.
What was your stream?
It only made me enjoy this movie more. Not that you needed to see those to like enjoy this movie, but like I was sitting down watching this movie, I felt like, because I think where Alien came out, 1979, I think. Dude, I felt like I was in 1979 watching the first Alien movie and just experiencing that, like the horror on screen in 1979. Wow. Like the good, like you were so good. You had some outstanding writing. You had some outstanding scenes. It's so good. Somehow the movie finds a way to pay homage and have direct connections to basically every Alien movie in the franchise. Yeah, I mean, we could argue the two that we could be arguably would be Alien versus Predator. No spoilers. How did you feel about the third act, especially that last bit? Are you talking about Dingus? Are you talking about Alien Romulus or something else?
I think he is talking about Alien Romulus.
Okay.
I'm told that this movie takes place in between the first and the second movies.
Correct. This movie takes place 25 years after the events of Alien. My joke I make is people, because I had someone like, oh, where's where's Sigourney? And I'm like, well, she's out there. She's just floating somewhere. She's asleep. They'll find her another 25 years.
Also, weird timeline that 3 and 4 are like a year apart, which is weird.
No, 3 and 4 aren't. Wait, are you talking about when they got made, or are you talking about in the canon universe?
In the canon universe,
No,
like
no.
I
So
saw,
4 takes place 200 years after 3.
yeah, I saw a weird timeline that doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be, obviously, if it depends how you count it, it would be
Mhm.
AVP, AVPR, and then people think you can see her pod in the background. Well, we'll wait and see. It's good. It's just this movie again. It's really, really good. I encourage people to go out there. I actually was talking with, because the same friend I went and saw this with, I had saw Deadpool and Wolverine with, and we were sitting there comparing notes because we're like, is this better than Deadpool Wolverine? These are 2 completely separate movies, very different movies. However, the joke I'll make is they're also 2 Fox movies paying homage to Fox franchise. Kind of funny, but it's really good. I shared that post in the chat about what the director was saying, because this is the first Alien movie, or well, depending on if you want to count Prometheus and Alien Covenant, this is kind of the first other Alien movie under Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't remember. I have to look, because I don't remember if Prometheus was actually under Disney. Maybe Prometheus wasn't. I think Alien Covenant was, but I don't think Prometheus was.
Yeah, I think Prometheus was before Disney bought it. I think.
Okay, but I think Alien Covenant was, though. I think, right? I think
so. Yeah.
Okay. So, but either way, this movie slaps. It's so good. I'm not a big horror guy, but I do like good horror. And this movie, it does some really cool things. It'll freak you out. It does some good jump scares. Yeah, the cinematography is beautiful. The set designs look great. It really looks like the sets. Like, it's so cool, because it's something I didn't even notice when I watched Prometheus. Is, as much as I love Prometheus, and there's arguments to be made that, like, there's no reason the ship in Prometheus would have any details looking like anything in Alien, because Alien's basically like a semi truck in space, and Prometheus is supposed to be like this cool, billionaire ship. But like, if you remember that ship in Alien, obviously in the 70s, what they thought sci-fi was going to be, there's 3,000 buttons everywhere, and you have the DOS system on your computer screen for Mother. And this movie does that. It keeps that, like, aesthetic, and it looks good. It's just, there's not enough good things to say about this movie. And the cool thing about it is they did it really well with any main big name actors in it. You did it really well. You had the main actress, the main girl I remember was in Pacific Rim Uprising. She was the girl underneath Briega. And then there's another girl we, unfortunately, from Madam Web, and she does great in here, does wonderful in here. And then the actor, I forget his name, but he's one of the other main characters. Not a spoiler, because the movie makes it very clear he's the android. It's something they tell you, like, within 5 seconds of the movie, they tell you he's the android. The android actor, he's like a newer actor. I've looked him up. He's only done a couple of projects. Okay. I'm going to be following his career, because he was good. He was really, really good. Yeah, I can't say more good things about it. It was really, really good. But did you see the post, Will, that I sent in the chat, though, about what the director said?
I think I did.
Well, basically, the post I had shared was that when he was creating some of the, again, no spoilers, but for the ending alien that we get, Disney was kind of like, is this a little too far? And it made the director go, oh, then we're definitely doing it. Yes, it gets a little gruesome. You get a different, like every Alien movie, you always gotta have a regular xenomorph, and then you gotta have something new. You gotta have something different. And yes, you will get something different, and it is god awfully terrifying.
The main actress in that movie, that's Kaylee Spaney, I think is how you say her name.
Yeah.
The chick that you were referring to, that was in
Madam
Web. She was also in that movie with Mark Wahlberg and Rose Bynes. I want to say, I can't ever remember. It was a name where she was the adopted sister. She was also in the newer Transformers movies. She was also Dora the Explorer. That was Isabella Merced.
Yeah, she does a good job, but
I like her as an actress. Like, now I got to look it up. Sorry, fact checking myself.
But the other actress, though, from Pacific Uprising. Like I haven't seen her do a lot of things, and the fact that she's the main actress here, and she does great. She does great. Like I said, great tie-ins to the entire franchise. If you're a fan of the Alien franchise, you'll be watching this thing and being like, "Hey, that's
Instant
a tie to
Family,
Alien."
That's the name of the movie.
What?
Instant Family is the name of the movie that I was.
You're like, oh, that's a tie to Alien 3, or that's a tie to Prometheus. That's a tie. It's so good. It's so. The different thing freaked out my friends. They won't watch Robbie. It's like, yeah, I want to go to the movies and watch it again. It was so good. There is a great jump scare at the end too, but you'll have to wait and see it. But yes, that creature, Ando, you might be terrified of. It's gross as hell.
First off, I don't do jump scares at all.
Okay, well, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, Alien's not your franchise then.
At like look at the whiteness of my skin. Could you imagine this getting any paler?
I don't mind a little bit. I don't want a movie of all jump scares. I don't want that. That's not good.
I mean, I can watch the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I'm cool with that. Like, oh my god. But no, like so even during the trailer, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, when I saw the Alien Romulus trailer during Twisters, I freaked out. And my sisters, you got scared. Thank God there wasn't a whole lot of people watching Twisters when I was there. But yeah, no, I freaked out over just the trailer. I will not be watching that movie.
And again, a movie that's this beautiful and amazing, only 80 million compared to all these other box office movies that are like $200-300 billion and million dollars. Like proof that you don't need to be Disney to make an amazing movie that's like great. And I would say right now I'm throwing it in the ring. Alien and Romulus should be in the ring for at least the top 5 movies of the year. It's good.
All right, in fairness to time, because we're going on an hour.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Janae, what anime news you got for us? And then we'll go over to and over to video game news.
Hold on one second. Let me pull it up. Well, and also if people haven't seen the new McDonald's toys and stuff, they have the collaboration between Yu-Gi-Oh! And Sanrio right now. So don't be ashamed to buy a kid's meal.
I got 3 of them.
So there's one bit of news. The next bit is, where did it go? All right, so Viz Media announced during a panel for the world premiere screening for Rama 1/2 that it is acquiring merchandising rights for the new anime outside of Asia. So Viz Media and Hot Topic are partnering to release new lines of apparel and other various things, pins, drinkware, throws, posters for when Ranma 1/2 drops for the remake. Where is it? Not that one. The manga titled Pet Shop of Horrors Collector's Edition should be releasing in February of 2025. And I personally I don't own the collection, but I've read bits and pieces of Pet Shop of Horrors. So, but they were pretty good stories. So
cool.
So that's dropping in February. Berserk is going to be dropping their 40-second volume for the first time after the creator's death. Then they had gone on hiatus, and that'll be in March of 2018. But I'm assuming it's over in Japan, and then I'm not sure when it's going to be released here in the States yet. But Dark Horse announced that. So, and there was some winners for different stuff for manga, and one of them was best continuing manga, which is Delicious in Dungeon. So I thought that was pretty cool since they have the anime. So that is all the newses I have. Oh, and for those people that are good with their Netflix, Sailor Moon is out now. Sailor Moon Cosmos. Watch it. So,
but just don't talk about it because Shanae hasn't watched it yet.
Oh my gosh.
I technically know what's going on because I watched the originals and I have the manga, but I'm just very annoyed that I couldn't watch the new one in all its glory.
Today gonna get
You
them.
need
All right.
a website.
All right, Ando, you gonna finish this off tonight? What
Yeah, I
video
can
game
finish
news you
this
got?
off tonight. In light of Diamond not being here, I'm taking over for video game news. Diamond, I hope I do you justice because you kick ass at this. So if you can give me some pointers when you get back, I greatly appreciate it. The big stuff that I had is Xbox a couple days ago had Gamescom announced. I don't know if you guys had a chance to take a look at that. If from what I was seeing was correct, it took place in Germany this year, which is really cool. So it's not just a US based Gamescom. They're actually doing it all over the globe, which is nice. It gave Phil Spencer and a couple of the other development teams a chance to interact with their overseas teams, which is really nice. Obviously, Valorant got released on Xbox earlier this month on Game Pass for PC and console.
Cool.
They did also announce Star Wars Outlaws is going to be pre-order. I don't think that one will be exclusive to Game Pass, but that one comes out August 30th, so next week that one comes out. Anybody play Genshin Impact?
Genshin Impact. I do.
Yep. Genshin Impact did. Yep. That one did get announced that it is coming to console. They don't have a definitive release date. I know it's sometime in November. I want to say the 11th, if I read that correctly. But that one will be a Game Pass right off the bat. Game Pass day one.
Xbox.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was already on console. It's on PlayStation,
No,
isn't it?
It may be on PlayStation, but it is not on Xbox. It's not because I downloaded it thinking it was ready. But I don't think that one comes out until November for Xbox. But that will be available via Game Pass. And then they have some cool new stuff coming out for Fortnite, including some new Marvel stuff that they have going on for it, where you get to take on Doctor Doom, which is cool. And
That's
then a
awesome.
couple cool games coming out that I was cool with release date wise. The four big ones that I kind of picked out was Dragon Age Veilguard. That one releases October 31st. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle comes out November 9th. That one will be just Xbox and PC. That one is not coming to PlayStation. Also, who likes Funko Pops?
Funko Fusions.
Yeah, Funko Fusion is supposed to be out September 13th on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation, and Steam. It is also coming out to Switch and PlayStation 4, but the release date on that isn't until November 15th. The last one that I am really excited about, where are my Harry Potter fans at? Oh, we're right here watching the show. Hey, that's cool. Hey, all the Harry Potter fans, we're going. Harry Potter is now going to the Quidditch side of games. September 3rd, they are coming out with Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. So I'm super excited for that. I think with as cool as Hogwarts Legacy is, there isn't a whole lot of multiplayer mode to it, which I think they dropped the ball on for that. So I'm really excited to see where the multiplayer goes with Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Obviously, October, you also have Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred coming out October 8th. The new Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero comes out October 11th.
Yep.
Sonic and Shadows Generations come out October 25th. Black Ops 6 obviously comes out October 25th. And then I know we hit on this a few streams ago. Marvel Rivals is officially coming to console December 6th, 2024. And that has been announced on Steam, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Did you say December?
December 6th.
I gotta wait till December. Oh my god!
It's in beta right now, though.
Yep. Oh, and for anybody that's looking for a Goat Simulator remastered, sometime before 2024, Goat Simulator should come out. So, Kat, you will be very excited. You can play as your favorite goat and just throw them across the road.
That game is so ridiculous.
Andrew said he missed some of our After Darks. You're gonna have to go stripping for him. There you go. Oh, that's what we're doing. Yeah.
I almost got the nip. Got
I will say, since I'm not here, I did watch her stream yesterday, and we talked about you, Will.
Oh, talk about me. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what she's been streaming?
What's she been streaming?
Want to take a guess?
No.
Sword Art Online, Fatal Bullet.
Don't talk about me when it comes to that.
And she was playing it, and she's like, "This is kind of dope." And I was like, "Yeah, it is." And she's like, "We should get Will to play it." And I was like,
No.
"Will's not gonna go near it." And she goes, "We'll have to find a way to trick him, the way like Janae tricks him to watch animes. So we'll have to trick. We'll have to trick."
Oh,
Janae ain't got me yet.
I have
Janae
not
got me
tricked
yet.
him yet. He won't even.
I was just talking about it on the stream yesterday.
Janae ain't got me yet.
And I did see that they apparently are coming out with a Marvel's Blade game based off of Blade. I don't know how. Are you going to base it off the TV series that's never going to come out?
I mean, the movie that's never come out.
Yes. No, the TV show with what's his name that keeps getting pushed back because they lose directors and everything.
No, it's supposed to be a movie that keeps getting pushed back.
Is it a movie? I thought it was supposed to be a TV show.
A movie.
Nah, movie.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that movie. Well, I hope that's not based off of the movie because then we're never going to get it. But yeah,
There's
other
some
games that are
discussion
coming
about
out. 2025, obviously, Fable is supposed to have a game that's coming out. Borderlands 4 does not have a definitive release date. That one's 2025, so I'll keep an eye on that one. Obviously, everybody is clamoring for GTA 6. Kingdom Hearts 4 is supposed to be in production with the release date between 2025 and 2026.
You mean 2027, 2028, 2029? What?
Probably.
23.
And then the only other one that I'm kind of interested in looking at is State of Decay. I know I say I don't like jump scares in movies. Yeah, lots of news from Gamescom. It is up on the Xbox channel through YouTube. If you guys get a chance, I would say watch that. But yeah, Funko Pops. Funko Fusion is a big one that I'm looking at.
I'm surprised they're not doing a collector's edition of that comes with because they're doing Funko Pops, physical Funko Pops release for the video game. You could go buy and order, but I like why not do a collector's edition with a cool Funko Pop exclusive to the collector's edition?
Yeah,
they did that for Midnight Suns.
Yeah, and then I am looking forward, like I said, to Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. I think it'd be kind of cool to do the Quidditch. Now, the question with the Quidditch game is: are they going to stick strictly to the four houses? Or are you going to get kind of like a arena where they're going to make fictional teams like Bulgaria and Ireland and all that?
Ando, can I ask you a question on that?
What's up?
Is that a new game or an installment expansion on from?
Based off of techradar.com/news on new Xbox Series X games. It doesn't give me any information. I just went to new releases, games coming out in 2024. And it just gives me information on the release date, which is supposed to be September 3rd. Now, I'll go up one better. Let's do Harry Potter.
I was just curious if it was like an expansion, like a season pass you buy for Legacy, or if it was like a whole new game.
Nope, it's supposed to be an original game from the ground up.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what's up?
Let's pull up. Hey, Scuttlebutt, what's up? Yeah, I'll pull up the Wikipedia page for it. Debut release. They say September 3rd. Nintendo Switch worldwide is supposed to be announced. So it does sound like it's going to come out for Switch as well. Gameplay information, and again, I'm pulling this straight off the wiki website or the Wikipedia website. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions is a multiplayer sports game that focuses on the competition of Quidditch. The game revolves around the popular sport in the Harry Potter universes. Players can customize their characters and select from the 4 different positions: Chaser, Seeker, Beater, and Keeper. The game offers an immersive experience that includes a variety of broomstick adventures and competitive multiplayer modes, which allow players to participate in the sport with their friends. Developer is Unbroken Studios. Publisher is Warner Brother Games. And that's basically all they got. So I don't know. Like I said, based off of the cover art for the game, I'm going to assume it's going to be strictly houses inside Griffin or houses inside Hogwarts. But I would be cool and would not be surprised if, sure, you have to start with the 4 houses and then you unlock like your Bulgarias, your Irelands, and your European teams.
What
So.
will it be like? Like all those other fancy ones where you can eventually create your own. That'd be cool.
I'm gonna hold off and probably say no, because if it's based off of the Harry Potter history, you wouldn't be able to create your own house. So
It's okay. Well, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's if it's based off of doing it with the Hogwarts houses. I think it would be cool if it started with the 4 houses, and then as you progress through each house, you unlock another game mode where you can. Because Harry Potter Gauntlet of Fire, they started with Bulgaria versus Ireland, and I think you get more gameplay out of it that way.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said, that's the big one that I'm looking at. There's other games coming out, but that's far down the calendar. Gameplay wise with me, I've been doing Madden, and I think Madden's the only one that I played over the last week.
So in video game news, for those of you who are on Xbox, Atomic Heart is leaving the Game Pass on August 31st. So you got about a week to play if you haven't yet.
I'm sorry, what's Atomic Heart?
Wow, you didn't hear about Atomic Heart? It came out a couple years ago.
Well, hold on. Go ahead and explain it, Kat. And this is how much I know about Atomic Heart.
So Atomic Heart is a...
Oh, shit. What did I miss?
It's very similar to like BioShock.
Okay.
Only
that's probably why, because I couldn't get into BioShock. So.
Okay. Well, it's set in like an alternate history, because I'm big on alt history games. Where Russia, even though they went the communist route, they still managed to become prosperous and educated and excelling in sciences. So it's a really cool game, really cool concept. For those of you that are into alt history, and I don't want to spoil it too much for folks, but yeah, it's a pretty fun game. But it leaves on the 31st.
A new one did come out on Game Pass. Atlas Fallen, I think is the name of the game. 2-player, kind of open world Rome game. You play in the sands of some country. I like it because it's multiplayer, so you play two-player co-op. Hopefully, the twin brother and I will give that a shot this weekend and give it a shot. So
I do want to say one thing that we didn't get to before we get out here for this evening. Sad day. Arrow is gone, y'all.
Yeah, off of Netflix, right?
Off of Netflix, it's gone, y'all.
Well, Janae, you can just add that to the list of the CEO of Netflix that you gotta yell at.
Go get him, Janae.
Wait, I'm last. It cut off. What'd you say, Will?
Arrow removed from Netflix. Yes.
Oh, well, here's the thing. Why don't they just put again? I think they need to put all the DC stuff on Max, or
CW. Put it on the CW app.
Well, no, because they'll just close that out like they do with all the other things.
On the CW app. I think it's still there, but here's the thing with Netflix though. They take things off and bring them back all the time. Like for a couple months, Walking Dead was gone. Now it's back.
It might just be being recycled.
Mm-hmm.
But as announced.
Now, will Disney get rid of Acolyte off of their streaming?
They did for a day.
Yep.
And then they brought it back, so I don't think they'll take it off.
Well, the merch. They took the merch off.
Still mad we ain't got the Weekenders on Disney Plus. What the hell? I'm paying all this money for a damn year.
Why don't we have the House of Mouse Villain Edition on?
Thank you.
Yeah. You know what?
I'm down with that.
Well,
I'm down with that, Ty.
In the House of Mouse, you're saying we don't have the House of Mouse? What the hell?
I'm down with that. Villain Edition. That's what I'm talking about.
That was dope stuff.
Let's go ahead and bring some cat inspired shows. You know she the Red Lantern over there.
Hey, Will.
Speaking of
I know.
Disney
Go ahead,
news,
Janae.
Speaking of Disney news, Donald Duck turns 90 years old, so he's on an episode of Hot Ones. I have not watched it yet, but that's awesome.
Oh my god!
So. Still got me.
No.
Hey, Will, you know how Will
subtitles on. So,
Will, you know how we fix all this shit, right?
How you fix it?
We need to call the head of Disney and tell them that we're a big conglomerate and they need to buy us up, and then we all get paid by Disney.
Yeah.
Think about the production value that we could put into this show.
I mean, $22 million an episode. We could do a lot of things.
Yeah, we do a lot of things.
You don't even have to pay me $22. Pay me
for that.
We'll get those $500 lightsabers.
You know budget. What? Give me $50,000 a year, $52,000 a year. I will do a show for $1,000 a week.
For that much of a budget, we all can get together and do this show.
Absolutely. We will.
We can fly into a central location once a week, film the show, fly home.
Yep.
We can basically do what the new CEO for Starbucks does. We just flies in once a week and then does the stuff and then flies back out.
And I got the audio equipment to where we could do it.
Well, it's easy, right? We get in contact with Disney. We do the show on Magic Mountain, right? Everybody flies to Orlando once a week. We do it in Magic Mountain.
There is one downside to it, though, Ando.
Oh my God, Ty, what?
The downside is they won't let you do Geek Gauntlet after dark.
Yes, we have to be more family.
Bro,
he's got a studio in Chicago. Let's do it, baby.
All right, let's go. I'm coming. I'm on my way.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. What if Donald Duck became Wolverine?
Yep, I saw that.
Can I just say, because I wasn't here when you guys were talking about Deadpool versus Wolverine, because I saw it the weekend after you guys talked about it. I don't think they missed anything in that movie. I think that movie was spot on.
What do you mean?
I think it was perfect.
What do you mean they don't miss anything? I'm just curious.
I don't think look, I think they got the perfect role for Gambit. They brought back the perfect people that they needed to. And Human Torch.
Hold on. Can I speak on that? Before we get out of here, can I speak on that? His head looked too big to be in that damn mask. He was up here looking like a motherfucking sentinel.
Ryan Reynolds?
I have not seen the movie, but I've seen the memes, and I thought
he looks like a motherfucker. He look like he got the head of a sentinel on that thing. That's what he looks like for real.
His dialogue alone.
I will give him. I will give.
Oh no! I've seen a lot of people posting from Louisiana saying that his dialogue coach should have been fired.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so for the dialogue coach were the Minions.
I will give him.
I gotta tell you, you're hearing trolls. Because he didn't need a dialect coach. He's originally from the area.
Really?
He grew up in the Deep South. Like, Pascagoula.
That's a bad accent. That's a bad accent, then.
Gaucher.
Well, Deadpool rips on the accent. That's why it's perfect.
I got family down there. And that's a bad accent. I'm gonna sit here a lot.
I'm sorry. When Deadpool looks at Gambit, and I'm gonna quote the movie because it's the best fucking line in the entire show. And who are you over here? That is my deepest inadequacies. You look like Hawkeye in a superhero costume. Because you can call me the
No,
look, I'm sorry.
The best moment in that show, the best moment in that movie, I meant to say, Johnny Storm. Damn it. When that motherfucker came down, you ain't know what the hell he was gonna say.
The fight in the
Deadpool ain't know what he was gonna say. He thought Deadpool told Avengers of Flame On. What the hell?
What? We don't know that guy.
We do know Johnny Storm. No. Don't be disrespecting Johnny Storm.
Dude, no. The best scene was that fight inside the Honda Odyssey.
Don't be doing that. That was good too. That was good.
When Deadpool said, as he's waiting for Wolverine to come back in, I take back everything I said about the Honda Odyssey. This vehicle fucks hard.
It was a tough motherfucker. Yeah, it was tough. Yeah. It was tough. But I love the movie too. I still thought it missed out on a few things.
Can we say that the soundtrack for the fight in that car was perfect? You're the one that I want from the Grease soundtrack was the perfect song for that fight scene.
The one thing that got me through that big time through that movie, we saw Blade again. That was my thing.
His line.
That was my thing. And we got his line. Yep.
I'm the only one.
Yep.
Well, and there's a lot of good jokes on that, but
no, his line of I don't like you, and you never have.
I still thought it missed out on a few things, but the movie was great. It was great. I love it.
I had a lot of fun with the movie.
I'm gonna ask y'all again. I'm gonna ask y'all again. I asked it before. I'm gonna ask it again. Do we get a Deadpool 4?
Hell yeah. Why wouldn't
I saw a clip of Ryan Reynolds saying no.
No, I don't think we do.
And the only reason why I say that, I might agree with him. A, typecasting, not that he ain't already there. And B, his family.
I think this is just a theory. Obviously, this movie is clearly supposed to be like paying like respects to the Fox universe, as this is kind of like the joke title.
Kind of like the last hurrah.
But obviously, spoilers, guys. If you haven't seen it, obviously they save the Fox universe. The only thing, there's really only two things they could do at this point with it, and they have to do one of these two. If they don't do one of these two, I can't imagine a third one that makes sense or even works. They either have to going into Secret Wars, this has to be one of the universes that collapses on the other, because in the most recent Secret Wars, it's two universes colliding on each other, and they destroy and create a whole new one. If you're already ending the Fox universe, if it's ended, might as well have that be your fodder. Don't end your MCU universe, end your fodder, and end another universe that you introduce with, like, the Fantastic Four you're introducing.
Yeah.
Have that collide on each other and then do that movie. The other thing would be, honestly, the Fox universe has their own universe, and we never need to talk about it again. They're gone. They're out there and they're gone. We don't need to talk about it because you just gave them you gave them their hurrah. Don't there's nothing more you can do with it.
Hey, that's kind of like when we watched Crisis on Infinite Earths, the last one. It's like when the Super Friends got that trouble alert that the anti wall was about to come and destroy them. They ain't had time to do shit. Them motherfuckers just took it like they just took it like men.
Yep.
And it's like, they gone. You ain't gonna that universe gone.
Ty, you think then moving forward, Deadpool will be more of a support character for, like, when the X-Men come into play?
I don't think we're going to see a lot of. I think one of two things. If we're going to get more, which here's the thing, I know that Disney likes money, so they'll do whatever they can to bring Ryan Reynolds back for sure. That's that I have no like that's going to happen at some point.
No question.
But if they're going to bring Ryan Reynolds Deadpool back, it's going to be for side moments or small roles. And then if they really want to have Deadpool actually prominent in, like, a cinematic universe, what they'll have to do is they're going to have to wait and recast him in 15, 20 years. Because
you could, or he's the new Stan Lee.
Well, you could, but again, that doesn't make him a prominent role. That just makes him a cameo role. Like, that makes him, and which is okay. You can do that.
If there's anybody that can pull it off, because I think Stan Lee would still be doing these cameos, even for not necessarily just the Disney-based Marvel movies, but like the Spider-Man Homecoming and the Morbius and, God forbid,
Spider-Man Homecoming was a
Madam Web, Craven the Hunter. He would have made appearances.
No,
He would have
don't associate him with those things.
Yeah,
he would have
saw how terrible that movie was. And
I think Ryan Reynolds could put his ego aside, not take any money on any of those roles for one or two lines to break the fourth wall during a movie. It's the perfect spot with Sir Stan Lee being gone now. Rest in peace, Stan Lee.
Damn, I gotta watch it.
I think it's the perfect spot. I think it's the perfect spot for him.
It's good. It's just the problem is with as much as Wolverine is a lot of fun, great movie, enjoyable, but it there's breaking the fourth wall, and then there's really breaking the fourth wall. And and Deadpool 3 does that. It breaks the fourth wall in a way that doesn't like it's not.
Did it better than She-Hulk.
We won't get into that, but no, it's. I agree that it's better than She-Hulk, but I still like She-Hulk. No,
you got to talk, man.
Deadpool is just so.
You got to talk, bro.
I rewatched the first episode of She-Hulk the other night, and I actually had fun rewatching that first episode.
Look here, man. It's gonna be me and you next week. We just gonna have a conversation on this.
Hey, it gave us Wong and Madison, and I still want Madison.
That is true. I
want my Madison.
You're right.
Wongers.
You're right.
But no, I would love to see more Deadpool, but like. The thing is when if you read in the comics, when Deadpool has his own comic, sure, he goes buck wild like we do see in Deadpool and Wolverine. But when Deadpool is in X-Force, when Deadpool is in an X-Men comic, there's less fourth wall break because it makes the story too complicated. It makes the story kind of messy, and it doesn't fit. It really doesn't. He'll make jokes for sure, and he can do that. Like in the first Deadpool movie, there's certainly some fourth wall breaks, but they don't break the film.
It doesn't really elaborate. Yeah.
But this one, this was a huge thing about completely wrecking. If anything, if they're gonna bring him back, they're gonna bring him back so we can see his scene with Thor. Okay, we're gonna have to see his Thor moment because that hasn't happened yet. So
You
maybe
you only seen that in the comics, right?
what in comics?
The Thor moment.
No, in
Wasn't that in the
in
comics?
Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yeah.
when he's looking on the TVA screen,
Mhm.
he sees Thor crying, holding him, and he's like, "What's
Oh,
that?"
okay,
And they're like,
okay.
"Oh, don't look at that. That's the future. Don't look at that."
Okay.
I was like, maybe
back
for
and
that scene.
Okay.
But no, I just think again, if they're gonna keep Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, he's gonna show up in a team up thing, or he'll be cameo. Like he's just gonna be someone that will be on screen for 2, maybe 3 scenes, but he's not gonna be the centerpiece.
Right.
And if they do want to make him more essential, like if you want to do an X-Force, and like a serious X-Force movie, and have Deadpool be like in his black suit and be more part of the team, I think that you're not going to unfortunately, I hate to say it because I love Ryan Reynolds so much, but you're not going to be able to do that unless you get away from Ryan Reynolds. And to do that, you're going to have the only way people will be able to accept it is you need to go 10 or 15 years past and give him that break in between, because then at that point, people will be a little more accepting of like letting a new actor take in that role.
Yeah, I can see it.
Real quick, I want to get with you before we get out of here. That picture I posted in the group chat about a Justice League, is that true? Did you have a chance to look at that?
Which picture was it again? Let me look at it. Which picture was it again?
Of the Justice League.
I'm trying to go back to it and figure out which picture it was again, because I don't remember which one. I remember the Atlantean Inhuman thing, but it was like Justice League.
Yeah.
Dick Grayson being leading the team or whatever.
Nightwing, yeah.
From what I can tell, I looked online a little bit. It looks like that might be something that's coming.
Wow.
Again, Justice League because I think the Justice League comics are out right now. Like they're not coming out right now. Like they ended the Justice League.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be surprised. He has taken the initiative. What was it? One of the more recent events in the last like a few years ago where the Justice League didn't know how to like deal with something. Dick Grayson took point. So it wouldn't be surprising. Like
that's an OP team though.
Well, here's the thing though. The joke I'll make is how many people die under Dick Grayson. So I love Dick. I love his. He's a good character. But at the end of the day, I choose Jason Todd every time because Jason Todd is going to be way more fun. He's not going to be always the best team player, but he's going to be way more fun.
Right.
That's just me. But both characters in the last like 3 or 4 years in the comics have drastically changed. Nightwing is very much more. He is more team oriented. He is more focused about caring about his team in ways that like Batman has failed. And I think that's kind of the point. He's supposed to be trying to be someone who's like, hey, I see Batman trained me. Batman made me this, but I see where Batman has failed and I want to correct that. And I think Batman actually appreciates that because Batman has never admitted to being like the perfect of perfect. He's realized like the whole point of him training the Robins was he didn't want them to become like him. Like his right. He's like, oh, I took them in so they wouldn't become me. I gave them something so they wouldn't become me. And
so have flaws. This is true.
Yeah, and so Nightwing, I think, is trying to become that, which is great for him. It's great. But and same thing with Jason. Jason Todd just recently did a comic book storyline. It was Red Hood and the Hill. And he is again, he's not a hothead. He's not jumping to blow up things. He's kind of taking things a little more calm. He's trying to be a little more appreciative of like people in his life and caring. Currently, like it's funny because I think right now Jason Todd's kind of experiencing what Dick Grayson experienced a couple of years ago. Because when Dick Grayson kind of went out on his own, Bruce Wayne was kind of like funding all of his stuff for a while. Like, oh, you want to do a team? Here's money. Here's money. Like, oh, you want to do stuff? Here's daddy's money. Dick Grayson's kind of finding ways to do things on his own without that money now, which is cool. But right now, yeah, Jason Todd is trying to find his own footing, his own like self. And I think it's been after he's dealt with being in teams like the Outlaws that now you see Daddy Batman is sending him money and doing some helping him find his footing in the world and becoming who he is.
Did you really just say Daddy Batman?
I did.
That is a triple X comic series if there isn't one to name.
No, and what's funny is in that comic, Jason Todd gets his first one of his first apartments, and we see that like he comes in there and there's like a present, and someone's like, "Who's that from?" And he's like, "Dad." And it's basically, and you see Batman is standing on a ledge, looking like away, looking at the window. Basically, he broke in to give him a housewarming gift, and like it's like, yeah, I mean,
stop doing that shit.
What?
He need to stop doing that shit.
Doing what's that? What's
Just
up?
breaking into people's houses. Lois Lane called him in the comic book. He need to stop doing that shit.
Yeah,
Lois
but again,
Lane,
Batman has
come to
issues.
my house and do this.
Batman has issues, man.
You gotta
And
come to the front door.
even Jason Todd is for the most part, he's not really wielding guns anymore. He's relatively. I mean, he has guns, and sometimes you'll see him, but for the most part, his two main weapons are like two crowbars.
Okay.
Which kind of symbolizes what made him, right? Like,
yeah,
what killed him was the crowbar. And
yeah.
so he's wielding these two crowbars, and he's not wearing a full-on helmet anymore. He more of has like a mask, and then like a hood, and then he has another mask. Like he's trying to be less of that, like, less of what he was, less of that raging vigilante, and being a little bit more tactful, a little more, again, team-oriented, a little more finding out who he is, because he was so full of rage, and he became that character out of anger and rage, and he's kind of now lost that rage, and in a good way. Like, he's processed it. He's gone to like the things he needed to do to become who he is, and so now he's finding that footing.
Gotcha. All right, you guys, let's go around the room, see what everybody's got going on. Then we'll get on out of here for the night. Kat, what you doing this week? What's going on with Geek News Now?
So with Geek News Now, on Monday, we are going to have MCU Monday. On Wednesday, we should have a new episode of War of the Stars up on Podbean. And then Thursday night, we are going to have Cantina Happy Hour. And I don't know what they're going to be talking about, but if you keep an eye over on our Facebook page at Geek News Now, then you'll definitely find out there. They'll post that. As far as me personally, we are ramping up at my shop, Shield Maiden's Creative Creations, and you can find me on Etsy for the holiday season. So there should be a lot of really great, cool, geeky gifts and things of that nature that are coming soon.
They are cool. I need the pictures. They're dope.
Kat, I need a Geek Gauntlet coffee cup.
I mean, I can see what I can do about designing those.
Okay, that's what I need.
And then we can get that set up for our fans, even if they want to have Geek Gauntlet.
Yeah, I gotta get.
We still need the Geek Gauntlet, though.
The gauntlet. It's gotta be like a gauntlet. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Hey man, everybody just sipping their drinks from the gauntlet every single show.
There you go.
For Will, we know one of the things on the gauntlet will be like a Dragon Ball. Yeah.
It won't be whatever it is from Sword Art Online, though. That's for sure.
Hell no.
Well, yeah, it's not as cool as Sword Art. That's why.
It ain't gonna have nothing from Sword Art Online, and it's gonna have nothing to do with food from Dungeon Wars.
This is how Tyler gets kicked off the podcast.
Food Wars.
Janae ain't got me yet, y'all. She ain't got me yet.
Just watch Delicious in Dungeon. I swear to you, I'm not tricking you on that one. It's really good.
You're not jerking me, Janae. This is the children. Oh no, it is Geek After Dark.
It's After Dark. She can say that.
Favorite now before Disney sponsors us, because we won't be able to.
Yeah.
But once they sponsor us, that's it.
Or is that Disney's plan is to keep us after dark? We're the Skinamax of Disney. That's what we are. Skinamax.
Oh my goodness. All right, Shaw, what you doing the rest of this week, man?
Nothing really. Just finishing up Code Geass over the next 2 weeks, and that's really it.
I gotta for me, I gotta jump back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I've been out of the game for so long. It ain't funny. I've been on this big Pokemon kick for VGC. So I gotta jump back into Duel Links. That'd be for me.
You take on your new girlfriend / future wife yet? She still wants you on that rematch?
Oh yeah. We're each other's rival.
Like I said, man. Like I said, I got the vow, or I got the best man speech right here. And there's gonna be plenty of Pokemon puns inside, man. I'm telling you.
There we go. Janae, what you doing this week?
Watching anime. Hopefully,
if Netflix allows her.
She's gonna break Netflix. Watch. She's gonna break Netflix. Watch.
Netflix allows me.
She's gonna break it.
Hoping to mail out some stuff for my art and various other orders that I've taken for my beauty counter stuff, but that's about it. So
how's that art desk working for you?
Well, I haven't sat at it to use it with my drawing pad. I've only sat at the kitchen table with it. I need to actually go to my table to actually do art. I just haven't.
She got the state of the art stuff
And they ain't even using it.
and won't even use it.
I used it one time. It counts. I have photo evidence.
Yeah, you do. That's why I was asking about it.
Bro, that's like me having that's like me having this Apple Watch and using it with a BlackBerry.
Will, don't ever put those two fruits together, sir.
I know, right?
You will never prosper.
I know, right? Exactly.
Right?
That's my point. Ty, what you doing this week?
I have a lot of comics to read because I just got a big order just came in from what?
You got a lot of shows to watch too.
Oh, well, yeah. There's always. For some reason, I started rewatching 007, which I don't know why, but I'm doing that, and then also. I don't know, for some reason I put on Casino Royale the other night, and then I put on Quantum Solace today. So I don't know. Maybe tomorrow I end up watching what's the next one. I forgot what's the next one after that. I forget. Not Spectre.
Skyfall?
Skyfall. That's right. Skyfall. Maybe Skyfall. The other thing I've been watching, which I really need to stop because it's actually really bad, but it's funny, but it's really, really bad, is that Boston Legal that I started watching.
That's the one with James Spader, isn't it?
Yes, and everybody, I don't understand the show because everybody is awful. Everybody is like really, really bad. Supposedly they're supposed to be kind of good people, and they at times are, but like they're bad people.
I've never seen Boston Legal.
Well, they make a lot of Star Trek jokes, which is cool, and there's a lot of actors in it from Star Trek, which is cool. Betty White's in it, which is cool.
Oh,
She's not a main character, but she's popped in for a few episodes. Betty White does do great, but even Betty White kills someone. Like Betty White murders somebody. So like everybody kind of sucks, and like these are a bunch of lawyers who are like, we're going to defend terrible human beings because we get paid money to do it, and that's cool. Like that's the show, and I'm like, what is the show? Like, they'll defend like rapist murderers and like everybody because they pay them, and they'll make it seem like they're innocent and fine, but then like we clearly see that these people are terrible human beings, and I don't know, but it's funny, but it's also it's awful. But I've been watching that. Yes, comic book shows and house cleaning. There you go.
All right, Nando, what you got going on, man?
Well, considering the week for me ends in an hour and 2 minutes, I'm probably going to go take a shower and go to sleep. That's my week. Nah, I'm joking. I'm getting back into the TikTok game. I don't know if you guys have been keeping an eye on my TikToks, but I did this. Long story short, somebody did a TikTok where you choose an NFL, MLB, baseball, or football, baseball, basketball, and hockey team, and you got to find the teams you're looking for in a minute. I have officially found a name for it. It's called Lost and Found. So if you have favorite sports teams you want me to find because they're lost, hit me up on TikTok. Just give me a message, and I'll put you on the list. Got a long list of people to catch up on. But then, Monday I should be on the Sports Reports podcast with our boy Will on YouTube and Twitch.
Perfect.
And then, I'm doing WWE Supercards is a big one I've been playing on. They did a SummerSlam promotion for the 10-year anniversary of Supercards, which came out 10 years ago, August. So that's taken up a lot of my time. And then, like I said, when I'm not doing that, I'm playing Madden. And, it's a great way to stay in shape.
There we go.
Will, what do you got going on? Oh, wait, we already, never. I'm so used to you not saying what you do that you cut us off early because you already said what you do, man. So,
Yep. I did.
Yep.
All right. If there's nothing else, I want to say thank you to everybody out there in TV land for watching the Geek Gauntlet podcast. We do appreciate it.
And Bangladesh.
Yes.
And Bangladesh. Our people in the people in the Bangor area.
They love us in Bangladesh.
They do.
We love you.
It's Sparky. That's why they love Sparky.
I think you're the only person that loves Sparky, but that's just
hey,
anyway,
you said it was a mascot, sir. You said it was a mascot.
I just think of from Megamind when the superhero comes out and he goes, "I love you, and I love you, random citizen."
There you go.
Yep.
That's your boy Homelander.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Thank you for being here. We do appreciate it. Have a great week. Have a safe week. Take care.